I feel like it all just kind of hit me this week where I was like, oh my gosh, I'm having a boy. This is going to be different than what I experienced as a child. And when that's like the only reference that I have, it's just kind of scary because I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do. Hey guys, I'm Marissa and welcome back to my channel. If you are new, I'm a first time expecting mom due with our baby boy in May. And today I'm sharing our 28-week pregnancy update, which also means that we are like in the third trimester, which is crazy and time is just flying by. In today's video, I will be sharing the symptoms that I've experienced this week as well as baby prep that's happened, and I will also be showing you that bump shot. But before we get into it, if you are new and not yet subscribed, you can scroll down and hit that subscribe button so you won't miss when I post a new video as I'm sharing my pregnancy journey here on YouTube. Okay, so first things first, let's talk about how big this baby is this week. So the app that I'm using is called Pregnancy Plus, and it says that baby this week is the size of a winter squash, which looks something like a pumpkin, and he is now 15.2 inches and about 2.5 pounds, so he is growing. So symptoms that I've experienced this week. Heartburn, first thing, has been so real this week. I've definitely been experiencing that. It's usually like in the afternoons and then in the evenings that I really get it. Things that have helped me with heartburn has been having chocolate milk. I still love the chocolate milk. I talked about that last week as that being like a craving, and I definitely am still like craving the chocolate milk. But heartburn still happens every single day, even to the point where like I've had a couple times this week that I've thrown up in my mouth. So gross. I threw up in my mouth at work. I just thought that I had to like have a little silent burp, just like something real small, and I like threw up in my mouth. It wasn't enough though that I could like, so I could still like swallow it. Sick, nasty that I'm talking to you about this, but anyway, I had that. But then literally last night I did the same thing where I thought I had to burp, and I was at home and I threw up in my mouth so much that I had to like go spit out in the sink. So I'm sorry, that's really TMI and really gross, but all of just the heartburn, loveliness, acid reflux that I'm experiencing, totally yeah, real fun with the heartburn. The next thing is the congestion. I'm still going through that, but honestly, I feel like this last week has been better. It feels like it just varies week by week as to if it feels better or worse. I tried to spend a few nights in sleeping in my own room. Since October, since I've been like 10 weeks pregnant, I've been sleeping in our guest room because I've just had all this congestion, just haven't slept well. But I've been trying to sleep back in our room. It's hard with like the heartburn and the congestion. I'm trying to like prop myself up when I sleep, and so I just don't sleep super well, and I don't want to disturb Jacob. So like 2 nights this week when I tried to sleep in our room, I ended up moving to the guest room in the middle of the night, but then I did actually sleep 1 full night in our room. Anyway, so still haven't been sleeping the best. Congestion is like on and off, but honestly feel like this last week has been a little bit better. Hopefully maybe as we get into like better weather, it'll go away. I have no idea what it could be related to other than just like pregnancy stuff, but it just feels like I have kind of severe allergies. But normally when I get allergies, it affects my whole face, not just like my nose. So it's just been like allergies in my nose. That's what it's felt like. Okay, the next part that I've noticed this week, I've been trying to be better about like sitting up. Like when I go from laying down to in bed to like waking up in the morning, like sitting up, and also just like rolling over in the middle of the night. I'm trying to not strain my abdominal muscles. We took a childbirth class this week, which I will talk about more. And the lady who was leading the class was like, you need to make sure that you're not like sitting up. You need to roll over, push yourself up, like not use your abs or anything like that because they're like separated or something weird. So I'm trying to be better about that, and that's just like a new habit that I'm trying to get into so that I won't strain those muscles. I've also had a little bit of a sore back this week, lower back. Nothing bad though. Honestly, I am really grateful that even though I'm like 28 weeks now, I haven't had any like achy sort of pains. It's mostly like the biggest thing has just been like the congestion for me. But in the evenings, I do notice that I have like a little bit of like an achy sore back. So Jacob probably rubs my back maybe every like couple days, which is nice. So I also am going to the chiropractor for like prenatal chiropractic and massage, and I'm going like only once a month though, so I still have like a couple more weeks until I go again, but I always enjoy getting my prenatal massage for sure. So I've also noticed that I've been getting hungrier. So at the beginning of my pregnancy, I wasn't hungry at all, and probably up until I was like 20 weeks pregnant, I just had like honestly no appetite. I lost weight between like the start of my pregnancy to my 20-week appointment. The doctor was like, you've gained 0 pounds so far. So I lost weight, I gained a little bit more, and as of right now, I've gained like 10 pounds throughout my entire pregnancy. So I just haven't been like that hungry, but more recently I've been trying to, like, since my 20-week appointment, I've been trying to get like better protein snacks and like just keep up on eating. But I have noticed like in the last week or so that I am just like hungrier. Like I just do want more food, and I think about food more often, which is not what I was at all before. Right now I feel like my craving is like not super great for you. Okay, it's not good for you at all, but I really want just like fried food, like, or like fast food. Like last Friday we went out to like a burger place and got like burgers and fries and milkshake, and it was so good. And then this like last week I've been really thinking about like mozzarella sticks. Like that just sounds so good. I haven't like given into any of these absurd cravings because I'm like, that's not good for you, you don't need that, but I have just really wanted like mozzarella sticks. Just sounds so good. Or like tater tots, or just like, I don't know, fried bad food for you. So yeah, I did have a burger last week, burger and fries, but I'm trying to not indulge in those like bad cravings. But really all I can think about right now are mozzarella cheese sticks or like onion rings. I just want them so bad. Another thing that I've experienced this week is a lot more movement, and Jacob's been able to like feel it too. I even think that I noticed that he had hiccups like when we were in the car one evening. It was just like very steady, like the same feeling, like anyway, so I think that may have been hiccups that I like started to feel. Also, one of the craziest things was I was like laying in bed one night, and I could feel that like he like put his foot like right above my belly button, and I could like feel that his foot was like pushed up against my belly, and I was like, Jacob, put your hand here, and he was like, oh my gosh, it's like literally sticking out. Like you could like feel it from the outside that it was like really pushed up against my belly. And then all of a sudden baby boy just like moved his foot like across my belly, and it was the weirdest sensation for me. And then also Jacob was like, because you could just literally just feel him like he like kicked and then just like drug his foot across my belly. So it is fun to now be able to feel like, oh yeah, that's definitely a foot, or like being able to like feel more of that movement rather than just like a little like twinge. Like now I can really identify like, oh yeah, that's that kind of body part that he's moving around there. So that's been fun as well this week. The other thing that I've experienced this week is I've just been really emotional. Like in the last week, I've had, I think, at least 5 emotional breakdowns, and at least 3 of them were like serious, like I could not stop crying. And that's just been hard. I feel like I haven't been super emotional during this pregnancy, but this last week has been like nonstop. And I think the hardest thing for me, I don't even want to say this because I don't want this to come across as being like misunderstood, or I don't want to sound like ungrateful or anything, but I'm just honestly really nervous about being a boy mom. And I feel like every time I think about it or like talk about it, I would like start sobbing this week. Being a boy mom is just so new and so different to me. I have only sisters. I have only girl cousins. Like I feel like I know nothing about boys, and it just kind of freaks me out, quite honestly. And then I also think about like, oh, like you think of like the relationship that I have with my mom, and then realizing like the relationship that I have with my son is probably going to be a lot different. And so it's just one of those things that's like, I'm so excited to have a boy, but also realizing like it is going to be different, and I'm not going to get to experience the same things if I was having a girl. And there are like so many awesome things that I'm excited for having a boy, but just realize, I don't know why it just like hit me this week. I was like, I'm not gonna have the same relationship with my mom as I will probably have with my son, and I don't know why that was just so hard for me this week. And here I am gonna cry about it again. I don't want to cry about it. I am so excited to have a boy, and it is exciting for our family to be like, we have only girls and now we get to have a boy, and it is going to be so new and so crazy and so different. But I'm just nervous about it. I think the thing that I'm most nervous of, it's like, I love this baby boy so much already, and I'm like, is he going to want this relationship with me too? Like, that makes me nervous. And so it's like, I'm mostly nervous because I love him so much, and like, is he going to want a relationship with me? That's mostly what my nerves are. So it's not at all that I don't want a boy. I'm very excited to have a boy. It's just realizing like, oh, what I'm going to experience is probably going to be different than what I experienced as a child. Jacob is so excited to have a boy and to be able to like teach him things and like do all the boy things together, which I'm so excited for that they get to do together. But just trying to like, I don't know, realize like what's my role going to look like in that. Not that I need to have that all figured out right now. I realized like I was getting emotional and upset about like when he's a grown adult. I'm like, Marissa, you still have so much time until that happens. All that to say, I have just been a little bit like, I feel like it all just kind of hit me this week where I was like, oh my gosh, I'm having a boy. This is going to be different than what I experienced as a child. And when that's like the only reference that I have, it's just kind of scary because I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And I'm honestly just like fearful that I'm not going to be a good boy mom. Like, honestly, that's what it boils down to. I'm just really nervous. So that's how I've been feeling this week. A little bit emotional about all of that. So if you are a boy mom and you want to leave me some words of wisdom and encouragement, I would definitely appreciate that. Again, I don't want this to sound like I'm not grateful, because again, I am so grateful and I love my son so much already. It's going to be different, which is exciting, but just unknown to me. It's the fear of the unknown, I guess. So anyway, that's what I've been experiencing this week. So baby prep, that's happened this week. We actually turned our nursery around a little bit, which I did film a vlog on. I don't think it's gone up yet, but we switched like the crib and the dresser. Jacob had actually already mounted the dresser to the wall, so he had to like unmount it and get that all fixed. So we had to unmount it and then move all the furniture around. So I think that like the way that we have it is going to be good for the nursery. Another big thing that happened this week is we took a childbirth class. So I signed up for a few classes. I signed up for a childbirth class, infant CPR, breastfeeding, and infant care. And the other three we haven't done yet, but childbirth was one that we did this weekend. It was like an all-day extravaganza on a Saturday at our local hospital. So it was, I was nervous for it, like going into it, but we got a lot of great information, and I feel like really educated in the stuff, or like at least knowing my options, like knowing like what could happen. So I think that was helpful, and it was also fun. Like the instructor made it a lot of fun. So Jacob went with me, obviously, and he also learned a lot. And so I think that was just like that, also this realization. I literally didn't get emotional this week until after I had the childbirth class. So maybe that was like a trigger of realizing like, oh my gosh, this is so real. It's just another one of those things. It's like, oh my gosh, everything is becoming so real. Like we're having a baby in less than 3 months, and just trying to prepare for it when it's like, how can you possibly prepare for this? So that was an interesting class to go to. And I know that we now need to kind of figure out like what our birth plan is going to be and all of those things. But yeah, that was like a big thing to cross off of our to-do list. And here's a look at my bump at 28 weeks. So here is a look at the bump from the front. You can now totally tell like from the front that I'm pregnant. And then we have the lovely side view here. So that's my 28-week pregnancy update. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and also don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more pregnancy update videos to come, and I will look forward to seeing you guys in that next one. Bye.
Did you ever stop and think, why spend too much time just getting ready?